Today we've got a packed lineup of topics you won't want to miss. Balatro is absolutely crushing it as a PlayStation Plus freebie for May 2025. Out of all the games they gave away this month, Ark, Survival Ascended, Warhammer 40,000 Bolt Gun, and Balatro, it's Balatro that's got everyone hooked, especially on both PS4 and PS5. According to the data from True Trophies, Balatro isn't just the most played of the month, it's the third biggest PS Plus hit of the year, only topped by High on Life and RoboCop Rogue City. And get this, since True Trophies started tracking this stuff in 2023, Balatro now sits as the 7th biggest PS Plus drop yet. That's wild for a roguelike deck-building poker game. Why is it such a big deal? Well, if you've played it or even glanced at reviews, you'll know the hype is real. The game dropped back in February 2024, scored in the 90 to 95 range on Metacritic, and has already sold over 5 million copies. Yeah, 5 million. It's even been up for Game of the Year at the Game Awards and picked up trophies for Best Indie and Best Debut. The gameplay is pure chaos. In a good way. You're building poker hands, but with all these crazy jokers and wild card synergies. So every round feels fresh. It's got that one more run energy, and you're always chasing insane combos and hidden bonuses. The loop is so addictive that even people who don't normally care about poker are getting obsessed. So if you haven't tried it yet, don't sleep on this one. It's free on PS Plus until June 3rd, and honestly, it's probably the most fun you'll have losing track of time all month. All right, let's break down this whole Bungie marathon art theft mess and what's really going on inside the studio right now. So here's the deal. Everything kind of exploded when an artist realized that Bungie's new game Marathon, which a lot of people had been hyped for mostly because of its unique style, was actually using some of her old artwork from 2017. And we're not talking about inspired by or a little similar. We're talking basically copy-pasted, showing up in the game's concept, art, and design. She called Bungie out, and it got traction fast, especially online and with streamers who are always on the lookout for gaming drama. Bungie owned up to it, but their explanation was kind of awkward. They said, yeah, it was one of our ex-artists who snuck that in a few years ago. We didn't realize. You can almost hear the collective eye roll from the community, right? Bungie said they're reaching out to make it right with the artist, and they promised to check the rest of their assets to make sure there's no more stolen work hiding in the game. But honestly, people aren't just letting it go, especially since Bungie's been called out for similar stuff before. Now, all this drama isn't coming at a great time for them. The first proper look at Marathon gameplay dropped recently, and it did not land well. Players who got into the closed alpha came out of it saying the game's just not clicking. Mixed to bad reactions across the board. So you've got a hyped game with disappointing first impressions, and then this whole plagiarism scandal blows up. Not a good combo. Bungie even did a live stream to talk about everything, and man, it was about as uncomfortable as watching someone bomb a presentation in school. The vibes at the studio are reportedly awful right now. Like, morale is apparently in free fall. Imagine being on that team, and the only thing the internet's talking about is how your game looks cool, but the art's stolen, and the gameplay might be mid. Internally, Bungie's saying the art theft is all down to one person. Like, they're giving everyone the same story that we're hearing in public. But now, Sony's legal team is in the mix, and they're doing this big audit to check for any more copied assets, which, let's be real, is probably not a quick fix. That's why their most recent live stream didn't show off any new footage. They're basically making sure they don't step in it again before putting anything else out there. And about that September release date, officially, they're still acting like it's all on track. But you can bet the higher-ups are having some tough conversations about whether it makes sense to launch in just a few months, especially when the community mood is so sour. Plus, the marketing plan they had, yeah, that's already changed. They were going to do a big new trailer and open up pre-orders, but that's all paused. They're even rethinking their public beta, maybe turning it into smaller playtests instead. Here's the wildest part. Folks at Bungie have apparently been warning the big bosses about Marathon's direction for years. Like, hey, this needs more PvE. The core idea isn't working, but those calls got ignored. So now, on top of scrambling to fix the plagiarism issue and trying to win back the fans, they're stuck with a game that people just aren't vibing with. And that last bit of goodwill about the cool art style, gone. So to sum it up, Bungie's dealing with stolen art, a game people People aren't loving a bummed-out team and the pressure of a ticking clock. Even if they delay, it's not clear they can fix what people are really unhappy about. At this point, the only thing that isn't chaos is the fact that, officially, Marathon still exists. But if you ask me, they've got a mountain to climb if they want to turn this around. Alright, let's talk about the chaos GTA 6's delay is causing behind the scenes in the gaming industry. Because honestly, it's wild how much one game can mess with everyone else's plans. So here's what's happening. Rockstar announced that GTA 6, which was already the most hyped game in years, is now delayed to May 26, 2026, instead of late 2025. That's a big move. Naturally, gamers weren't thrilled at first, but Rockstar did damage control with a new trailer and a mountain of screenshots, so the hype's back. But now the whole industry is freaking out. Why? Because GTA 6 is basically a black hole for attention. No other big studio wants to launch their blockbuster game anywhere near it. It'll just get buried. Studios like EA, who are prepping Battlefield 6, were watching Rockstar's every move, trying to figure out when to drop their own games. Some publishers even delayed their projects internally, pushing them out of 2025 to avoid GTA 6. But now that GTA 6 is set for May 2026, those same studios are stuck. Do they delay again, which costs money and messes up everything, or risk going head-to-head with the most anticipated game ever? Here's the extra layer of panic. No one actually trusts that May 2026 is the final date. Internally, business analysts at all the big publishers are literally gaming out what to do if Rockstar pushes GTA 6 again. The fear is, you shift your game to dodge GTA, then Rockstar moves again, and suddenly you're stuck in the blast zone anyway. There's also the whole multiplayer thing. Remember when GTA 5 dropped and GTA Online launched a few weeks later? If you're making a big online game, you're also sweating about when GTA 6's online mode will hit, because that could kill the long-term prospects of your own game, even if you survive the initial launch. So right now, the whole industry is kind of in limbo, waiting to see if Rockstar sticks to this date. Some devs are crossing their fingers for another delay just so they can buy more time, while others just want GTA 6 out so everyone can get back to normal. Either way, you can bet that every big publisher is nervously checking their calendars and hoping they don't get caught in the GTA crossfire. It's honestly hilarious how one game can throw the entire industry into chaos. But hey, that's the Rockstar effect. But here's the funny part. With all this chaos and the massive gap now sitting between major Rockstar releases, we might be getting a little treat to keep us busy in the meantime. So get this, there are strong rumors going around that GTA 4 is about to get a remaster, or at least a proper next-gen port, sometime this year. I know, right? It's not just random speculation either. Some legit insiders are saying Rockstar's been working on bringing GTA 4 to PS5, Xbox, and maybe even PC. Now, before you get too excited, it's probably not a full-blown, rebuilt from the ground-up remaster. Think of it more like a solid port with upgraded resolution, smoother frame rates, and maybe a few quality-of-life updates. But don't expect ray-traced puddles or anything crazy. Still, considering GTA 4 hasn't been on modern consoles at all, this is actually a pretty big deal. It means you could be running around Liberty City with Nico Bellic and Roman, bowling and causing chaos, all in way better quality than before. Honestly, it's a clever move from Rockstar. It keeps everyone hyped, gives fans something to do while we wait for GTA 6, and lets a whole new generation jump into one of the most iconic open-world games ever. So yeah, while the industry is sweating bullets trying to avoid GTA 6's shadow, we might be getting a chance to revisit Liberty City before the end of the year. Not a bad way to kill time until the next big thing, right? Alright, so Microsoft's next Xbox is apparently going to run on Qualcomm Snapdragon chips. Yeah, the same ARM stuff that's inside your phone or tablet. Am I the only one scratching my head here? Like, what's even the point? Let's be real. There's been endless talk about Microsoft cooking up something huge for next-gen Xbox. Handheld rumors, full console leaks, all that jazz. But honestly, when you hear ARM chip, does your brain scream cutting-edge gaming, or does it scream mobile compromise? Now, Qualcomm's working with Microsoft on both Surface and Xbox stuff. That part's confirmed by a job listing, so it's not just some random Reddit post. But still, ARM chips in a home console feels like we're heading toward a glorified tablet with an Xbox logo slapped on it. Supposedly, this means the next Xbox will be super flexible, like a PC console hybrid that runs Windows, emulates old games, maybe even lets you install Steam or Epic. But again, who's really asking for this? I mean, if I want a PC, I'll buy a PC. If I want a console, I want something that just works, runs big games smoothly, and doesn't mess with the formula. And let's talk performance. ARM chips are efficient, sure. Great for battery life in your phone or a handheld. But in a next-gen home console, is this actually an upgrade? Or are we just getting a beefed-up mobile chip pretending to be next-gen? What happens to all the big graphically intense games we expect from Xbox? Are they just going to run at lower settings? Or is there some magic sauce here I'm missing? Microsoft says this thing might launch in 2027, and the pitch seems to be ultimate flexibility and future-proofing. But honestly, if it's just another device that tries to do everything but doesn't actually do gaming better, what's the point? So, I got curious and decided to dig a little deeper, because honestly, all this hype around ARM chips had me suspicious. And guess what? This whole Snapdragon-powered Xbox thing might not even be real. Here's what actually happened. All the rumors started because of a single job listing at Qualcomm. It mentioned next-generation Surface and Xbox products built on Snapdragon solution. Naturally, the internet ran wild with that, and suddenly everyone was convinced the next Xbox was going to be powered by a mobile chip. Classic. But when you look at what some of the more reliable sources are saying, like folks over at Windows Central, they're basically calling bullshit on the whole thing. Their insiders are saying that Microsoft is not planning to use Qualcomm ARM chips in the next Xbox. Why? Well, apparently, ARM just can't handle all the Xbox games we already own. Emulating everything that's been built for AMD's architecture would be a nightmare. So for now, it looks like Microsoft is sticking with AMD, at least when it comes to compatibility, and not nuking their entire library. Now, you gotta wonder why these rumors pick up so much steam in the first place. Maybe it's because Xbox is kind of in a weird spot right now. Let's look at the numbers. PS5 is absolutely killing it, with over 74 million units sold as of early 2025. Xbox Series X and S, not even close, sitting at around 32 million. That's more than a 40 million gap. Ouch. So, is Microsoft really going to risk their entire next-gen console on a chip nobody's tested for serious gaming? Doesn't sound likely. The reality is, PlayStation is crushing it in sales, and Xbox just can't afford to make a massive gamble that could blow up in their face. At the end of the day, it's cool to imagine big changes, but right now, all signs point to Xbox playing it a bit safer, at least if they want to stay in the game. If you want to be ahead of all the gaming leaks and news, specifically PlayStation news, time for you to subscribe. And as always, a like on the video is very much appreciated.